What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. I am your host, Junkyard James. We're on episode 192, and I promise you, when we went live, I had a co-host with me. He must be having some continued technical difficulty, so we'll wait for him to jump back in. As always, it's my man Cody Marinero. We'll wait to see where he is in, and he's a big part of the show tonight because we're going to talk about some shenanigans. It appears that the Washington Commanders are playing with some of their trademarks, as well as making our predictions um for AEW All In this Sunday night. But while we before we get there, we're going to have to talk about our sponsor, our affiliate partner. That's W Energy, your taste buds' favorite energy drink, coming in a multitude of different flavors, such as Cali O Cream and Dub Sludge and Pushin' Punch and Tiger's Blood, to name just a few. Um, Dubby Energy is a flavored energy drink mix. You dump it into some water and you get a crash free, jitterless energy experience. The star of their show is not none of those proprietary blends that some of those big name companies claim to have that can't be tested, or they're proprietary, so they don't let you know exactly what's in the mix there. The the star of the show for Dubby Energy is the coffee fruit extract. It leaves you feeling energized and focused without the crash and without the jitters. And we have a code for y'all to use. If you use w.gg, uh, and then shop for whatever you want, try their starter packs, try some of their energy hard candies, or maybe you get a shaker cup or whatever you get at w.gg. Use code Beyond the Yard and you can save 10% on your order. Thank you to W Energy for becoming an affiliate of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. Again, that code, we'll show it on the screen one more time. Beyond the Yard, save 10% at w.gg. W, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. All right, well, we're still waiting for the man of the hour, Cody Marineri. You know what? Here he is. He's finally here. How is it going, my friend? How are you doing this Thursday?
I feel like the forces beyond my control that have something to do with what I am currently wearing, maybe trying to prevent me from uh, appearing on the show tonight. But we're here in living color in all our glory. We're doing okay. It is a Thursday evening, starting to rain over here a little bit, so maybe that's bringing down the signal and whatnot. But other than that, we are good. All in weekend. It'll be a great weekend. Um, Great weekend in general on my end of the spectrum. I think it's going to be a fun weekend overall. But as far as the wrestling world goes, All In's going to be a great show. Can't wait for it. I'm happy it's on a 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, kind of like football, and be done by 5 o'clock, and we can be able to chill for the rest of the night and not have to worry about the show going past midnight or 1 a.m. on the East Coast and have to go to work the next day. So other than that, ready to talk some interesting stuff. How are you doing this Thursday night?
Hey, I feel like I did a good job stalling there on the W Energy promo until you were able to log back in. For those who don't know how we do this, I hit the go live button, and he was in the lobby. He was there, and then I hit go live, and then it pops up that he disappeared. So I think I did a pretty good job stalling for time there, but I'm doing pretty good. It's another Thursday. The Buffalo Bills are currently losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it's a preseason game, so who really cares? Um, uh, and so yeah, it's a pretty good Thursday. and we're going to talk some interesting things. But first, we gotta do what we always do at the top of the show, and it's time for some junkyard therapy, my friend. Um, Maybe not sports related, maybe it's not uh wrestling related, but maybe there's just something throughout the week that has grinded your gears. Now is your chance to have a little vent session to the fans watching the show. If you got anything on your mind, my friend, welcome to Junkyard Therapy. You have the
Well,
mic.
listen, the thing that I really wanted to vent about, we'll get to in a little bit. Um, but something wrestling wise has peeved me off is the free world title matches on television. We're still doing them. Had one last week on SmackDown between who was it, Punk and Owens? Who was it?
Couldn't tell you.
Regardless, I know Punk was defending the world title, and I just don't get it. I don't understand why we're still doing it. And this is not wrestling related. This isn't even sports related. This is something completely off topic. Why is it that when you work for a company that has fleet vehicles, when people drive them, they forget how to drive? It's like all the marbles are lost. It's basically not your vehicle. You can kind of just play with it like a toy and wreck the hell out of it. And people like me have to deal with that shit. And that's frustrating.
Well, look, I don't know exactly the situation you're referring to, but I was like to work the other day because a fleet vehicle, I'm assuming it's a fleet vehicle. It was a big truck. It wasn't an 18-wheeler, but it was a big fucking truck. Um, Flipped over in the middle lane on I-85, and obviously they couldn't get that son of a bitch to the shoulder. So I was late to work on one day this week. And I feel like maybe this will be mine. Do Charlotte drivers not know how to drive? I feel like I am late to work, not because I leave late. Like I leave with plenty of with enough time so that if I'm in traffic for 5 or 6 or 7 minutes, that I'll still be at time. Like I leave to be on time. And then my company, they give you 5 minutes after the time that you're supposed to start before you're technically late. So I basically have a 15-minute buffer, and it seems like at least one day a week there's a traffic jam on I-85 that derails me. And so maybe I got to just leave 30 minutes early or something. I don't freaking know. And now school's starting back up, and where I live, there's a freaking school bus stop every half block. So I might have to rearrange my sleep schedule so that I can get to work on time going forward. But that's my therapy there. Charlotte drivers, learn how to drive, or stop moving to Charlotte because the roads aren't built for the amount of vehicles that are in this freaking area. I hate traffic, and I am a very impatient driver, and so sitting in traffic makes me want to blow up. But if you're ever on the phone with me and I'm in the car and there's traffic, please don't record that conversation. You might hear some things that are unpleasant, some f-bombs or something that a good Christian boy like myself shouldn't say. Anyways,
We're not perfect.
right. By the way, before we're going to jump into talking about, well, that logo on your hat right now, and while we're in this conversation, be sure to, if you're watching on YouTube, to join the conversation in the comments. We'll maybe feature you on the show. Currently, this is our comment section. At 9:08, I typed technical difficulties, please stand by. So please join the comments, and we can we can introduce and communicate with the fan base here. Let's talk about the Washington Commanders. You posted something on social media the other day about some shirts that the Commanders are selling on their Fanatics shop. I'll let you break it down, and I got some questions to follow up after you explain the situation. But what exactly is going on in the land of the free and the home of the brave, or whatever they say?
Yeah. Well, I forgot that basically. Um, I'm running off of three different things going on right here. I've got my cell phone as the hotspot for my iPad because my iPad is my work iPad, and I have to use a VPN to be able to sign into it through a thing called Cato. For whatever reason, it does not like my home Wi-Fi, so I can't really connect to it through that. And the reason why I use my iPad is because it's got the best streaming quality. The audio seems to be pretty good as well. So that's why I use my iPad. I used to use my laptop, but it looked like I was from 2005 with like 480p. Um, that's why I try to stop using that. So I've got a bunch of things going on over here. If you saw my setup, it'd be pretty wild. But I have my laptop, I have my iPad sitting on my laptop, which my laptop is open because I need to get to the internet to be able to pull up some notes for things that we're talking about tonight. And my iPad is connected to my phone's hotspot, and my laptop is connected to my Wi-Fi inside my home. Dedication to the show, I guess you should call it. I don't know. Um, so I was trying to share my screen from my ex that I could show you some of the posts that I was going to talk about, but well, I can't do that through my because my laptop is connected to my monitor. My iPad is not, and apparently you can't share your screen to your iPad on a separate screen, so it's very convoluted. If you wanted to pull up my ex, you can. I'm not telling you you need to, and I probably should have told you this before, so maybe we could have planned that. Um, but the post that had the three shirts that I brought up was going to be one of the posts I was going to talk about. Um, but essentially, so obviously we know what's going on with the team now. All the Commanders had a rebrand in 2020 because of wokeism, cancel culture, all that wonderful, fun, stupid shit. Um, So obviously we had to retire the Redskins name, the logo, and we were called the Washington Football Team for 2 years. It took 2 years for a rebrand. That was the most ridiculous, pathetic thing in the world. We already knew what the name was going to be, branding and everything, but we took 2 years to decide it. And obviously, we became the Washington Commanders on 2/22/22, one of the worst days in our franchise's history, with the most ugly uniforms I've ever seen in my life. Um, so since then, basically the Redskins name and logo has been null and void. It's been banished. It's a no-no. Can't say it. Can't show it. Nothing like that. Well, obviously Dan Snyder was our owner. Thank God he's not anymore. Sold the team to Josh Harris in 2023. Hard to believe it's been 3 years since Josh Harris was on the team, but we've done good under him. He's done some good things for the franchise. And some of the things that he has done is try to bring back some of the legendary legacy things pertaining to the Redskins name, branding, like bring back the old jerseys. Now, the old jerseys had the Redskins logo, the word mark right here, but we don't have that. We just have the regular burgundy and gold jerseys that we are now wearing. So this is a post that I made, a couple days ago, August 25th, so 2 days ago. This might be my most viral tweet that I've ever made in my life. So 3 weeks ago, during the team's first preseason home game, in which, by the way, the front office sports, AJ Perez had made an article back in 2024, after Josh Harris bought the team a year and a half prior to that, saying that the team would be trying to sell very limited things pertaining to the old logo, not so much the name, the logo. Which the logo was never really a racist thing. It was the name, which we'll get into that in a second. So every now and then you would see some things that may have the team's old logo on it, mostly to represent former players that actually played for the Redskins, not the Commanders, not the Washington Football Team, like Darryl Green or Art Monk or John Riggins or Sean Taylor. So this season, and really last season, we hired a new team president, Mark Klaus is his name. He came from Campbell Soups, more worked along with the Oreo branding and things like that. And he has tried to bridge the gap from the past Redskins imagery or whatever to the current Commanders branding and imagery. We've implemented the spear. It's not the same spear as what we had back in our 1960 days or the 2002 70th anniversary throwbacks, or the spear with a feather. This is just a more so like a medieval Greco-Roman type of spear, which the branding is fine. It's cool. And now our alternate logo features the W with the spear. Our alternate helmets have it. I think next year will probably our permanent logo. Regardless, they're trying to bridge the gap for that. We've went back to the old jerseys now. We've got the spear implement from what we have used in the past, even though it's not the feather. So now we bring it up to 3 weeks ago at the first home preseason game. Our fight song was Hail to the Redskins from 1937 to 2019, early 2020. Well, once they changed it, 2 years later, they changed the name to Hail to the Commanders. And the main course of that was Hail to the Commanders, Hail Victory, Fight for our Commanders, Fight for Old DC. The old verbiage from the Redskins was Hail to the Redskins, Hail Victory, Braves on the warpath, Fight for Old DC. So 3 weeks ago, during the preseason game, naturally after we do scoring, whether it's field goals or touchdowns, the fight song plays over the loudspeakers, PA system. Fans noticed, and they had the lyrics on the screen, that we've now changed the lyrics from Fight for Our Commanders to back to Braves on the Warpath. That's Native American type of stuff right there. So it caught attention. That's interesting. Okay. That same preseason game, people were showing what was being sold at the team store, which was Darryl Green and Sean Taylor shirts. Both of them had the Redskins image on it, the logo, but the Sean Taylor jersey, actually, they both had on the very back of them Washington Redskins. Clearly put the word Redskins on the back of the shirt. That's the first time since 2020, before the name and the logo was banished, that the team has sold anything pertaining the name Redskins. They may have slightly sold merchandise that had the logo, but not the name. So that has set Twitter ablaze on the Redskins Commanders side of things, and that's where I came to play, where I posted those 3 pictures of the Darryl Green, Sean Taylor, and Art Monk shirts that were available on Fanatics. Because it's like, okay, maybe this is just a team store thing. Maybe they're just doing a soft test at the team store to see how these things sell. And then they appeared on Fanatics. And I made that viral tweet and was like, wow, look at this. This is going somewhere. This is different. This is the first time we've had these word Redskins sold anywhere. And that has absolutely caught fire, not only just from my tweet, but just in general. And people have made so many comments about this. Eric Flack, who works for I believe WUSA in Washington, D.C., had made a report basically saying that the Commanders, they still own the trademark for the name and the logo. And in fear of losing the trademark, they feel that they had to sell things or use that trademark in some capacity to keep it as their own, to keep it alive, which is very weird, considering, like, if the name is racist, if the logo is racist, why are you worried about keeping this trademark? The team has continued to say they are not going back to the name, they're not using the logo, whatever. But my thing is, if the name is racist, we shouldn't be saying it anymore. And Mark Klaus, on numerous occasions on media appearances, has said the word Redskins multiple times, whether it's referring to old players that played for the Redskins or whatever. He has said the name quite a bit. Josh Harris has said the name Redskins quite a bit as well. Players have said Redskins. It is now socially acceptable to say Redskins and not be fearful of being cancel cultured, of being banished, of being called a racist. You still have the woke white liberal bullshitters who still think that this is a racist word and they're offended by everything because they have their panties tied in a wad, and that's their whole life goal is to be offended by everything. And for anybody who may be listening, that is one of those people. Um, go fuck
Hold on.
yourself. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, I got something for him. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I still have it. Uh, where's it at? Oh no.
Your mama, boy.
That might be the best way to put it. I just went very non-PG with that, and sorry, that just has to be what it says. You've erased 85 years of history of my favorite football franchise, a sports team that has not really affected your life in any way, but because that is your main goal is to be offended by everything and to change everything. And you've changed the Cleveland Indians and you've changed the Washington Redskins. Yeah. Um,
Well, if you see in the post that I have shared now, apparently it's the merchandise was very popular because it appears that it's all sold out. So,
so now Desiree Townsend, who I'm not sure if she's Native American, she might be. She has become very synonymous with this whole Redskins thing because she is, I believe, representing in a legal matter a lawyer of sorts to the White Calf family who the Redskins image of this logo was made by a Native American, and the Native American in this is Chief Ducon's White Calf. Or excuse me, that's who made the picture. This is Blackie Wetzel that's on the logo. Um, she has been fighting the fight of either the family of the logo, just get the name and the logo and let them keep it because it's going to a Native American family and they feel they need to um, be owed to that, or bring it to the NFL's table and have a conversation with Roger Goodell and the owners and the sponsors and bridge the gap of letting them know this is not a racist logo. This is not a, I can't believe we just shut out the Dodgers. We just swept the Dodgers. Oh my God.
let's
Um,
go.
but we can't beat the, anyways. Um, so the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Braves, my favorite baseball team. I'm glad they haven't come after. I'm glad they haven't come after them. They shouldn't, anyways. But it's just amazing to me how they pick and choose battles of what's offensive, what's not, and this and that. Um, and yeah, so my biggest thing is, applaud to Desiree Townsend for trying to be the legal front battle person for the White Calf family to fight for them, but also majority of Native Americans who don't find the name racist. And everything on all walks of life, in any topic, in any subject, about anything, there's going to be people who agree, oppose, disagree. There's going to be people who are for it, who are against it, who may find things somewhat offensive. Most of them are an extreme minority.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we letting the woke mob, evidently the elitist, must have most money in their pockets, the very loud minority affect every single thing that has to do with tradition, history? Their goal is to eradicate, not educate.
Mm.
Because why are we trying to get rid of Native American imagery and honor Native Americans? If the majority of the tribes have no problem with the name of the logo, why is this an issue? It
Mm.
shouldn't be. Talk with the Native American tribes, set up some sort of foundation, do what the Chiefs do. The Chiefs honor Jim Thorpe, who was one of the most prominent NFL figureheads that was Native American. Um, do things with Native American tribes, foundations, charitable stuff, bring them to games, during the off season or mini camp or OTAs or whatever, send the players to Native American camps and tribes and learn their history and whatever. Um, I don't understand why we're making this a big deal when it comes to the minority side of things, taking control of everything. And I understand that the sponsors were pulling out their money and funds, and that's why we had to change the name and logo. And because people were being bitches about it being racist, but it was a minority group. If they had a conversation now with Josh Harris, who is not Dan Snyder, and said, listen, we want to do this the right way. We're going to make sure most of these Native American tribes are on board with it. We're going to honor them. We're going to do everything. That's cool. Complete game shout out. That's awesome. We're going to do everything we can to honor the name and logo and then make sure that it's not in a racist verbiage at all. We don't even have to paint the end zones Redskins. We could just say Washington if we really want to.
Right.
And we could be called the Redskins, but try to not feature the word Redskins as much as possible. Just have the logo. But yeah, it's very frustrating. And then now with this whole tease between the jerseys, going back to this, the Redskins Sean Taylor jerseys being on sale, the shirts being on sale. I don't know if they got pulled off because they sold out or if because the team caught flack for some minority reason and now they're pulling off their sites. I truly hope it's because they sold out. We can say the name, we can show the logo, but we can't put it back as the team name. And the team has said they're not going back to the name. They're going to stay the Commanders, grow the Commanders brand, but bridge the gap between the past and the present and build to the future. And Mark Klaus has said numerous times on interviews that this is a journey. And we hope the fans come along with us to the journey. Is the end goal for the journey to go back to the Redskins, to be called the Braves? We're going back to RFK in 2030. Maybe something will happen when we open the stadium, either going back to Redskins or maybe transitioning to the Braves or Warriors or I don't know. But it's just a lot of weirdness. It's a lot of tug and pull, a lot of teasing the fan base, in my opinion, of you guys know when you put this stuff on sale, it's going to catch fire. People are going to buy it. People are going to sell this stuff out. Not many things Commanders brand have sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And the former uniforms we had before this, the red ones, burgundies, said the word Commanders. The black jersey said Commanders. None of our jerseys mention the word Commanders at all because people hate it. People don't like it for the most part. And they know it doesn't sell as well. So either rip the Band-Aid off, go back to Redskins, find some sort of ironclad contract where it cannot be pulled from us again, have Native American sign off on it, whatever we can do to try to be like, listen, if we're going to go back to it, we can't be bothered with this again, or find a name that can represent the Native American tribes well and honor them and not feel like they're being eradicated because we're pulling history from them.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling the Native American imagery of the Redskin logo and the name, we're pulling history from them. Same thing with the Indians. I understand maybe Indians are a little more controversial, and Redskins can be as well. But if you look at the actual, definition of it and the meaning behind the word, it wasn't used as it's a racist remark up until recently.
Right.
And different words have different meanings and have changed and evolved over time to different connotations, but it doesn't mean that we should always cancel them. Yeah. I don't know, man. I know it was very long-winded there and said a lot. Obviously, that's a very passionate topic. It's my favorite football team, probably my favorite team amongst the teams that I root for. And when you've put so much money, time, and effort into cheering for this team since I was a kid, and having the brand and the feeling of the franchise ripped from you 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, and being so close to going back to it, only for them to keep saying we're not going back, we're not going back, we're not going back, and to sell things that resemble the old name and logo freely now, and we can say it freely, show it freely. Man, just do it. All you're doing is just further dividing the fan base more, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing. I guess the question is, what exactly, how excuse me, frequently is this going to be a trademark battle? I don't 100% know trademark law, but I do know unused trademarks, you can lose them if you don't use them in some sort of way. So I could see that being an issue. I also could see some troglodyte on the black market waiting for the trademark to come available to buy it up so that he can get top dollar from the franchise to sell the trademark back to him. So I can see what they're doing, but maybe there's a bigger picture to this. As you're aware, last year, the NFL and Fanatics started the NFL rivalry jersey collection. Last year it was the NFC NFC West and the AFC East. This year, we just saw on Tuesday the release of this year's jerseys for the AFC North and NFC North. And my understanding is next year is the NFC East and the AFC West, if I understand that correctly. So Washington will be adding an additional jersey to their repertoire next year. What is the possibility that using this rivalry jersey they can bridge the gap per se and still be called the Commanders, which I mean I guess can have some form of Native American appeal to it, while maybe showing some old school logos just on a 1 or 2 game a year appearance, just to test it out. And then as we if it works, if the NFL is accepting of it, maybe moving it forward down the line. And we got an Eagles fan in the chat. He says, give me back the Redskins, them old Eagles Redskins rivalries back in the day. Those were some good old times. So if you have an Eagles fan saying to give it back, give it back to us. All right. That's that conversation there. My let me share my thoughts real quick before we jump into our all-in predictions. Look, I grew up in DC. I grew up a Redskins fan, and it was for reasons such as them getting rid of the name that I became a Buffalo Bills fan. Now, that is not to say that if tomorrow they're like, yeah, we're the Redskins again, I would sell all my Bills merchandise and become a Redskins fan again, because I've spent too much freaking money on the Buffalo Bills at this point in time. And I've invested, I don't know, 8 years of my life of grueling playoff losses. That I don't, you can't, that's priceless pain right there, got my friends. But yeah, I think it'll be cool. I think they should give the name back. I think President Trump should force them to change the name back to the Redskins, or else, I don't know, put a tariff on him. I don't freaking know. He likes to change names of things apparently. So, let's jump into AEW, because this weekend, oh my goodness, this might be pay-per-view of the year caliber. Some things before we talk about the card. There are some matches that are on the pre-show that have not been announced yet in an official capacity. Tony Khan on the media call, I believe today, said, wait till Saturday. You're going to get some buy-in matches that have not been announced. But one of the buy-in matches that was announced earlier today, I believe, on the media call, was... we're not going to predict this because, I don't know, this is impossible to predict. But it's a trios... Royal Flush something one another. Basically, it sounds to me like it's an eliminator match where the last team or member of a team remaining wins the trios titles. There's going to be 7 trios. Let me see if I can pull up the announced trios for the buy-in. I believe it's obviously Hangman and Brodito defending the belt against let's see, the Bang Bang Gang, the Dogs, the Demand, 3 members of the Death Riders, the Conglomeration, 3 members from that stable, and then a quote wild card trio that Tony Khan is working to bring into the company. As if we don't know who that wild card trio is going to be. My guess is this match is going to bleed into the pay-per-view because it's on the buy-in, and you're not going to debut Kofi and Austin Creed on the buy-in. You're going to have it bleed into the pay-per-view, in my opinion. So we won't talk about that. There's maybe another women's match on the buy-in, some other matches. But Tony Khan made this statement. The 8 matches that are announced for the card, the main card, are the only 8 matches that are going to be announced on the main card. Tony Khan has promised that this is an 4-hour pay-per-view, including entrances. So he's keeping track of time because London has a curfew, and he's going to run up right against that curfew, given the start time. I think is 6:30 local time, and their curfew's, I think, 11 o'clock p.m. So they're going to run really close to time. So not a lot of overages going to happen on this show. So let's pull up the deck and let's talk about AEW All In's main card. We'll start with the TNT Championship match. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match between Kevin Knight and Darby Allin, who leaves as TNT champion.
Call me crazy. I'm gonna say Kevin Knight. I just think that I understand Darby's kind of getting some momentum here and probably deserves his TNT title run. I just think Kevin probably just it elevates his game, elevates his name, his title run. He's already had a great title run. I can easily see Darby winning this, but for whatever reason, my heart just says Kevin Knight. Probably wrong, but I'm just gonna go with it.
No, I'm going Kevin Knight too. With the build-up going to be at All Out in 3 or 4 weeks. Kevin Knight will defend that TNT title against none other than Stephen Borden, aka Little Sting, who has been, I guess, added to the list of people that help Darby Allin whenever he gets his ass kicked. I think he'll make his AEW pay-per-view debut at All Out in Chicago to fight for the TNT belt. So Kevin Knight will retain the title here. All right, we go next to, can we give it a round of applause again? The first time on the main card, the Divine Dominion defend the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship excuse me, against the Brawling Birds. Who wins this one?
I mean, this is a no-brainer. This has got to be Brawling Birds. I think they definitely get the win here. I still don't think it's going to elevate the women's tag team division. I still have my thoughts and opinions on it, but should be a good match, and at least the titles will be featured on the main card. But yeah, I think the Brawling Birds will win this one.
This one's tough for me because man, the Divine Dominion have had a pretty decent run with the belt for what they've been given. They haven't been given a whole lot. But yeah, you're right. The Brawling Birds are probably going to win it. You got two British women, people of British descent, I believe, fighting the Divine Dominion. So yeah, give me the Brawling Birds to grab that victory in Wembley Stadium. We got a men's casino gauntlet match. Number 1 entry is Andrade El Idolo. The number 2 entry is MJF. And if I understand correctly, you get an automatic world title opportunity if you win this casino gauntlet match. Is it going to be one of the 2 on the poster, or will we see somebody else win the gauntlet?
I think MJF does win it. I think we get MJF versus Ospreay at All Out. I think this was going to be the original main event of All In. but I think that this will be the main event for All Out, BMJF versus Ospreay for the world title.
If I know anything about Tony Khan, he's going to have a multitude of surprises in this gauntlet match. But also, it's usually whoever's on the poster for the gauntlet usually doesn't win it. And so I think there might be an outsider that might win this gauntlet. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for a gauntlet match victory for none other. I don't know. This just sounds fun to me. Jungle Jack Perry. And he'll be in the main event against whoever it may be in Chicago, Illinois at all out. Give me Jungle Jack Perry to win the casino gauntlet match. Couldn't tell you why. That's just how I feel at this point in time. My opinion may change Sunday, but right now, give me Jungle Jack Perry. Next match, we got the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. This was always a match that we thought would be bigger than just Cope and Cage versus the Young Bucks, but this is the direction that they have decided to go. It's not going to be a ladder match. It's not going to be anything of that nature. We got the AEW World Tag Team Champions Cope and Cage fighting the Young Bucks. Winner takes the belts. Who gets the dub here?
I think Cage and Cope retain the titles because I think that at some point we're going to get that triple threat between them and FTR and a ladder match of some sort. I guess the Bucks are winning, and then maybe the Cage and Cope getting the rematch, and FTR gets thrown in the mix too. But yeah, for whatever reason, I think Cage and Cope win this.
I'm going with the Young Bucks to win and take the belts again. For nothing from the simple fact of just the story that I read the other day that suggests that the contract that the Young Bucks are on right now may be the last contract of their wrestling career. I think they have to have one more good tag team title run to end out their careers. So I imagine the Young Bucks take the dub here. Maybe an interference by the Motor City Machine Guns or something of that nature. Get them involved in the card. But I have the Young Bucks winning another AEW Tag Team Championship. And adding it to their already illustrious wrestling career. We move on to, oh man, if this was not, if Omega versus Ospreay wasn't on this card, this might be my favorite match on the card. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. My favorite wrestler in AEW right now, Kyle Fletcher, defends the AEW International Championship against Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. Can Fletcher retain the belt on Sunday?
This might be the hardest match to predict as to what's going to happen here. I feel Okada really hasn't had too much momentum going into this match. Takeshita was a previous title holder of this international title, as well as Okada too. I just think that for whatever reason, Kyle retains the title. I don't know why I have that feeling, man, but I just feel like that I just think shouldn't give it back to Takeshita already. Let this breathe a little bit longer, and Fletcher just kind of continues to make a name for himself and keeps the belt.
Yeah, I ultimately think Fletcher will retain, and it will be. There's been some tension between Kyle Fletcher and the Don Callis family here recently. And so I think we could use this moment. Let's just say Okada just beats the ever living hell out of Takeshita. They want Fletcher to stab him with a screwdriver or whatever Don Callis wants him to do, and he just can't get himself to do it. I feel at some like instead of getting his ass kicked and removed from a stable, that he just turns babyface on the Don Callis family at some point in time. I don't know if it'll be at Wembley Stadium, but I do think Kyle Fletcher will retain the title on Sunday. All right, our next match is the finals of the Continental Challenge Cup. The winner gets the trophy and the Continental Championship, and it's John Moxley versus London's own Nigel McGuinness. Who wins this?
Is this easier to predict than it should be?
You feel like it. Hey, the Buffalo Bills went 3-0 in the preseason. Good job, guys.
I'm gonna go 0-17. I'm just kidding.
All right.
I don't know why, but I got Nigel winning this, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just totally ridiculous. I don't know, but I just got a feeling, man. I just got a feeling.
I think Moxley will retain the title. After the match, though, I think Nigel's going to get his ass beat down by the Death Riders. And it's going to lead to maybe the biggest return London, England has ever seen. When the lights go out and you hear, it's the final countdown, and Bryan Danielson shows up to save his arch nemesis, Nigel McGuinness, from being choked out the way Bryan Danielson was choked out with that plastic bag. But Moxley will retain the title. Let's move on to the AEW Women's World Championship. Willow Nightingale, the champion, fights Mercedes Moné. Who wins this?
Maybe this one's pretty easy to predict. I think Mercedes gets her revenge over Willow and finally becomes the world champion in the women's division for AEW.
Well, I was going to pick Mercedes Moné on Monday. But then news came out this afternoon that Willow Nightingale broke her fucking hand. And she's fighting she's fighting injured on Sunday. Yeah, Mercedes Moné will beat the ever living dog shit out of Willow Nightingale. And will become an AEW Women's World Champion on Sunday. She was going to regardless, but now that Willow's hurt, I think it's almost a certainty. You can put some big money on Mercedes Moné winning the belt. And Willow Nightingale needs to take some time off and rest up because she's fragile and keeps injuring herself. So, Tony Khan said it's an 8-match main card, and we're on match number 8. It's our main event. Wait, let me do it like Mark Henry used to do it. Well, fuck him, by the way. But I think we've done enough talking. It's time for the main event. All right, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, AEW World Championship on the line. We're getting essentially cleaner Kenny versus babyface Will Ospreay. You kind of said who I believe you thought are going to win it when you said MJF versus Will Ospreay next month. So I'm assuming you're going Will Ospreay to win here.
No, I'm just kidding. I think Omega wins. Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I don't see. They could pull a huge swerve on us and Ospreay loses. I don't see it. I think Ospreay wins. I think with it be if it truly stays an 8-match main card, I think this goes close to an hour, if not more.
I could see that.
And if that's the case, this should be one of the top 3 best matches in AEW history.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like the whole way, ever since it was announced we're going back to London, that we all have felt this was Will Ospreay's moment to win the AEW World Championship. And it was leading and pushing to get there. And I was all aboard that train. And all the way till a couple weeks ago. And at some point, I would have figured Kenny Omega would have put his career on the line, like raised the ante a little bit. But Kenny Omega hasn't. And in fact, he's looked like he has another gear to give with this new version of Kenny Omega. And so this is challenging because both of these people could win this match. And I'm just going to go on a win here. I think on Sunday night, Will Ospreay is going to have Kenny Omega in position to do the Tiger Driver 91. And then he's going to freeze. He's going to remember that he had neck surgery and Kenny's injured and he's not going to be able to hit it. What everything Jon Moxley has taught him, he's going to forget and he's going to freeze in the biggest moment of his career. And Kenny Omega is going to retain the AEW World Championship in Will Ospreay's hometown of London, England. And when that happens, Kenny Omega, I pray to God you have a flight out of London, England as quickly as possible, because you might not be able to leave that arena once you beat Will Ospreay. Just kidding. It's going to be half full, so you'll have plenty of space. Yeah, no. Kenny Omega will retain his belt at All In London. I'm all in with Cleaner Kenny. Let's get a good run. Fuck it. Let's do the belt collector again. Put him back on Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling or something. I don't know. Kenny Omega deserves a good title run. It's probably going to be his last one, and I'm not a big fan of these 1 month title reigns. So give Kenny Omega a 6 or 7 month title reign, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me know, guys, what you think in the comments about this show, because it's going to be a good show. In case you don't remember, it's a 1 p.m. start time. The buy-in starts at noon Eastern time. That would be 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you live out in California and want to watch AEW All In, you're going to have to skip church on Sunday.
Watch it in church.
Just put it on a big screen.
Put it on the big screen. Worship Jesus and watch wrestling.
But no, AEW is going to be a good show this weekend. It's going, I guess, head to head against NXT Heatwave, which I don't know who's fighting on that show. So good luck to all of y'all who watch NXT. You probably should watch it after AEW and you'll have plenty of time because it'll end at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, watch AEW first and then watch Heatwave after the fact.
And Dave Meltzer, you have no reason not to rate Mercedes Moné's match on Sunday. You still haven't done the Maya World Mercedes Moné match, and the excuses you give are absolutely batshit insane. But, anyways, it's going to be a good weekend of excuse me, pro wrestling. Getting choked up over.
Get choked up about it.
It's going to be a good weekend of pro wrestling. We are just weeks away from NFL football starting, and college football starts this weekend. Actually, I think it started today, to be honest. With some smaller schools, but we're back in the swing of things. The next couple of weeks. So obviously next week we'll do some recapping of All In and seeing where we're moving forward. And then the week after that, we will be competing against the Australia game and the NFL. And then the week after that, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you we won't have a show because the Buffalo Bills play regular season football on Thursday night. So sorry, guys. The Buffalo Bills in the regular season is I'm not missing that game. So we'll take a week off there just to let you know in about 3 weeks. I'll give you a heads up there. But other than that, I'll turn it back over to the main man over here, Cody Marinara, for the final words of the show.
Like we've been saying over the past a little over almost an hour now, that this weekend's shaping to be a great weekend. Obviously, you got the sports with the preseason football in its final weeks, week 0 of the college football season. MLB is obviously inching closer towards the postseason. You got your NASCAR, you got your golf, but you got wrestling. And it's going to be some awesome action of wrestling this weekend. Collision on Saturday and then Heat Wave on Sunday, as well as the main event, AEW All In. Should be a fun show. Easily contender for show of the year. So yeah, we're gonna have a party on Sunday. We're gonna make sure we got enough of the sauces spreading around so that way people can stay saucy and enjoy the shows. And I hope everybody can do the same as well. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the festivities, the wrestling, the action this weekend. And we'll be here to recap it all next Thursday night and give our thoughts and takes on it. Preview a little bit of college football too, and start inching a little bit closer to the football season, and maybe do some more predictions and whatnot, and talk more about that. The show 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so are you guys the first Thursday night game or the second week?
It's week 2.
Okay, so it's like
but
September 17th or something like
that. Yes.
Okay. Reason why I ask, I'm yeah, no, okay. I'm trying to get my dates right because the second Dynamite after All In, September the 9th, is Dynamite Rebel Heart.
Yep.
That should be a very cool show, probably an emotional show as well. I'm sure we'll talk about that, in the coming week or so as we move out of All In and get closer to All Out, and in between talk about that stuff. So that'll be good to talk about as well. But again, this weekend, y'all have fun. Have a great weekend. We'll see y'all next week. And most importantly, stay saucy, friends. Bring back the name of the logo. Go Redskins.
Stay saucy. We'll see y'all next week.
This is wrestling without the filter.